November 11th, 2022. In less than 72 hours, $32 billion evaporates into thin air. Not from a stock market crash, not from a natural disaster, from a single company. A company that was, just days before, the darling of Silicon Valley, the poster child of cryptocurrency's future, and the second largest crypto exchange on planet Earth. Its 30-year-old CEO had graced the cover of Forbes. He'd shaken hands with Bill Clinton and Tony Blair. He'd promised to give away his entire fortune to charity. And now, he was on a private jet, fleeing the Bahamas as his empire burned to ash behind him. This is the story of FTX, a company that rose faster than lightning, burned brighter than the sun, and collapsed harder than any financial institution since Lehman Brothers. But here's the twist. The fraud was happening from day one. The question isn't, how did FTX fall? It's how did nobody see. With his wrinkled t-shirts, wild hair, and beat-up Toyota Corolla, he looked more like a college dropout who'd slept through an alarm. But behind that disheveled exterior was a mind that could calculate arbitrage opportunities faster than most supercomputers. Born in 1992 to two Stanford law professors, Sam, or SBF as he'd later brand himself, graduated from MIT with a degree in physics. He wasn't interested in fame or yachts. He was interested in something far more ambitious: effective altruism. The idea was simple but radical. Make as much money as humanly possible, then give it all away to save the world. Noble, right? In 2017, SBF took a job at Jane Street Capital, one of Wall Street's most elite quantitative trading firms. He was good, really good, but he was restless. He saw an opportunity that the old guard couldn't. Cryptocurrency was inefficient, fragmented, and ripe for exploitation. Bitcoin traded for different prices on different exchanges across the globe. In Japan, it might sell for $7,000. In the US, $6,500. That gap? Pure profit, if you were fast enough. So in 2017, SBF left Wall Street and co-founded Alameda Research, a crypto trading firm with a handful of fellow MIT grads. They set up shop in Berkeley, California, in a 3-bedroom house that doubled as their office. They traded around the clock. They slept on beanbags. They lived on delivery food. And they made money, absurd amounts of money, by exploiting price differences across global exchanges. Within months, Alameda was pulling in millions. But SBF wanted more. He didn't just want to play the game. He wanted to own the casino. In April 2019, FTX was born. The name stood for Futures Exchange, and it was designed to be everything other crypto platforms weren't: fast, sleek, professional, and user-friendly. SBF moved operations to Hong Kong, where crypto regulations were lighter and ambitions could run wild. FTX wasn't just another exchange, it was a revolution. It offered leveraged trading, exotic derivatives, and even bizarre products like futures contracts on Donald Trump's 2020 election odds. Traders loved it, gamblers loved it, and the money poured in. But what really set FTX apart was SBF himself. He was a marketing genius wrapped in humility. He appeared on podcasts talking about giving away billions. He wrote op-eds about rationality and ethics. He became the face of crypto done right, a stark contrast to the scandals plaguing the industry. And then came the big break, the Bahamas. In September 2021, FTX moved its headquarters to Nassau, a tax-friendly paradise where SBF could build his empire without the suffocating oversight of American regulators. He bought a $40 million penthouse. He hired hundreds of employees. He threw lavish parties. And he kept talking about charity. By mid-2021, FTX was valued at $18 billion. SBF wasn't just rich, he was a phenomenon. Sequoia Capital called him a future trillionaire. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen became investors and brand ambassadors. Larry David starred in a Super Bowl ad mocking crypto skeptics. FTX bought the naming rights to the Miami Heat's arena for $135 million. Sam Bankman-Fried was no longer a trader. He was a titan. By early 2022, FTX was unstoppable. It processed $14 billion in daily trades. It had over 1 million users. It was the second largest crypto exchange in the world, trailing only Binance. And SBF? He was the face of legitimacy in an industry drowning in scams. He testified before Congress, advocating for sensible crypto regulation. He donated $40 million to political campaigns, more than anyone except George Soros. He pledged to give away his entire fortune, estimated at $26 billion, to fight pandemics and prevent existential risks. The media ate it up. Forbes put him on the cover with the headline, "The Next Warren Buffett." Bloomberg called him crypto's most influential figure. Even skeptics started believing maybe, just maybe, crypto had finally grown up. Behind the scenes, FTX was expanding aggressively. SBF bailed out struggling crypto companies during the 2022 market downturn. Positioning himself as the industry's savior, he bought stakes in Robinhood. He invested in media companies. He even explored buying Twitter before Elon Musk swooped in. But there was something else happening behind the scenes, something darker, something hidden in the balance sheets and the late-night wire transfers, something that would bring the entire empire crashing down. The first crack appeared in November 2022, and it came from an unexpected source, CoinDesk, a crypto news outlet. On November 2nd, they published a leaked balance sheet from Alameda Research, SBF's trading firm. What they found was shocking. Alameda's assets weren't real. They were inflated with FTT, FTX's own cryptocurrency token. It was like a casino using its own chips as collateral for billion-dollar loans. Worse, Alameda owed billions of dollars, and much of that money appeared to have come from FTX customer deposits. Let that sink in. Customer money, real dollars that people had deposited to trade crypto, had been secretly funneled to Alameda to cover losses and make risky bets. It wasn't a bug. It wasn't a mistake. It was theft dressed up in spreadsheets and corporate jargon. Changpeng Zhao, CEO of Binance and SBF's biggest rival, saw blood in the water. On November 6th, he announced that Binance would sell its entire holdings of FTT tokens, worth over $500 million. The message was clear: we don't trust you. Panic spread like wildfire. FTX customers rushed to withdraw their funds. Within hours, the platform was overwhelmed. But the money wasn't there. It had never been there. On November 8th, FTX froze withdrawals. SBF posted frantic tweets, insisting everything was fine, that assets are fine. They weren't. 2 days later, FTX filed for bankruptcy. $32 billion. Gone. Not lost to bad trades or market crashes, but to fraud, hubris, and a lie so audacious, it made Enron look quaint. The collapse was immediate and catastrophic. Over 1 million creditors were left holding empty bags. Pension funds, individual investors, celebrities, everyone who trusted the boy genius from MIT was now broke. The Bahamian government seized FTX's assets. The FBI opened an investigation, and the world finally saw what had been hiding in plain sight. FTX was a Ponzi scheme with a Super Bowl commercial. SBF's inner circle crumbled. His co-CEO, Ryan Salam, resigned. His head of engineering, Nishad Singh, lawyered up. And Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda, and SBF's on-and-off girlfriend, became the face of the fraud. She admitted in court that Alameda had used FTX customer funds to cover losses. She revealed that SBF had instructed her to commit fraud. She described a culture of recklessness, where billions were moved with a Slack message and no oversight. Investigators uncovered a sprawling web of misconduct. SBF had bought luxury real estate in the Bahamas for executives and his parents. He donated millions in political contributions using customer money. He'd falsified financial statements and lied to investors, regulators, and the public. On December 12, 2022, Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested in the Bahamas and extradited to the United States. He faced 8 criminal charges, including wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. The trial began in October 2023. Prosecutors presented overwhelming evidence, falsified documents, testimony from his closest allies, and a paper trail that led directly to SBF. His defense? The jury didn't buy it. On November 2, 2023, exactly 1 year after the CoinDesk article that started it all, Sam Bankman-Fried was found guilty on all counts. He faced up to 115 years in prison. On March 28, 2024, he was sentenced to 25 years. There is no redemption arc here, no pivot, no rebranding, no comeback. FTX is dead. Its assets are being liquidated to repay creditors, though most will recover only pennies on the dollar. The crypto industry is reeling, its reputation shattered once again. Regulators around the world have used FTX as justification for crackdowns. Celebrities who promoted FTX, including Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, and Kevin O'Leary, face lawsuits for endorsing a fraud. The Bahamas is left with an empty office tower and a stain on its financial reputation. And SBF, he sits in a federal prison, stripped of his fortune, his influence, and his carefully crafted image. The boy genius who promised to save the world became a cautionary tale of hubris, greed, and betrayal. FTX didn't just collapse, it detonated. It took with it billions in wealth, countless lives ruined, and the last shred of mainstream trust in cryptocurrency. But perhaps that's the legacy, a reminder that innovation without integrity is just a scam with better marketing. Sam Bankman-Fried wanted to be remembered as the man who changed the world. Instead, he'll be remembered as the man who stole from it and got caught. In the end, FTX wasn't an empire. It was a mirage. And when the illusion finally shattered, all that remained was the truth. $32 billion never existed. It was just a number on a screen propped up by lies, leverage, and the blind faith of people who believed in a future that was never real. The crypto casino collapsed, and the house always wins until it doesn't.